This album has to be my favorite album of 2018. Hands down. Well, this is probably a fucking surprise for all of you. How's it going, everybody? It's Jordan here. Welcome to JKarg Music. For all my longtime subs, this is probably something out of the ordinary for you here. I'm trying to do something a little different here in the channel for the last while here. I've been saying to keep doing album reviews, and I keep not so much blowing it off, but just never find time to. So here we are now. Every album that I do cover, I am going to review it. I covered right now the Breaking Benjamin Ember album. I covered Bullet for Valentine's new album, Gravity, and I'm finishing up the Poison from Bullet for Valentine, and then I'm going to dive into Stand Up and Scream from Ask Alexandria, and then afterwards, probably after the new year, I'll probably dive into Metallica's Black album. So if that interests any of you and you're a first time watcher, please subscribe to my channel. I am very active here on Twitter as well. I try to do as covers as I possibly can here. I do this as like a part-time job, if you will. I try to treat like a part-time job, any type of living through YouTube. I do work full-time at another job, so it's hard for me to come up here. But I'm trying to make this more of a, try to make it more of another part-time living job, if you will. So as you guys can tell here, this is going to be my review on the Ember album for Breaking Benjamin. And holy shit, dude. This album, man, it probably is not only my favorite album to come out 2018, but probably my favorite albums ever, to be honest with you. It's like the sonic boom, to be honest with you. There's not one bad song on this album. There's not one bad song. I have my favorites, not my least favorites, but none of the songs on the album are bad by any means. This album, compared to all the other albums from Breaking Benjamin, is much darker. I got more of a darker feeling and more heavier musically here. And some of the lyrical content here in the album is just profound, man. It just like takes your breath. My favorite's part from Psycho. I'll get that when we get to the song Psycho here. But in this review here, I'm going to review every single song, how I feel about it, what I liked about it, what's my favorite, what's my least favorite, and what I grade at the end here. Starting off the album, we have the intro to the album called Lyra, I don't know what's necessarily called here. But when I first heard the song from start to finish, I thought, is this going to lead into another song? And it did. It led into Feed the Wolf here. So it was really unexpected, because to hear a piano in Breaking Benjamin was kind of, not I want to say weird, but it's not normal for them. Maybe some synths and maybe some other stuff here. But for any type of piano work, it was really profound. So it grabbed my attention pretty damn fast here. So when I listened to it, at the time, Feed the Wolf single was already out. So I thought, man, this sounds just like Feed the Wolf. And then little did I know, it really just goes in right to Feed the Wolf. So when I heard it, I'm like, man, this is awesome. So it was a very good intro to Feed the Wolf and into the album. And then you start hearing the guitars kind of fade in. And then, it's just going to be a kicker as soon as that next song kicks in, or the next section comes in, if you will. So, yeah, man, it was a very good opening intro to a song, to an album here. Feed the Wolf, track number 2, man. Man, I was hooked. I mean hooked to this song for a very long time here. I think what I was hooked to mostly in the song was the vocal arrangements, to be honest with you. The vocal arrangements in the song were unreal. Ben Burnley's falsetto in the chorus is almost spine tingling, if you will. It is just, you don't really hear it very often in any other type of music, or I guess you're saying that music. You don't hear it very often from Ben Burnley or in this genre of metal. You just don't. So it complemented the music very well. And then you have the um, underlying harmonies. And I just want to say that the harmonies on this album are eargasmic, if you will. That's what they are. If they came out with an acapella version of this album, I would be the first one in line buying it, man. So then the drums too, man. They sound huge. They sound huge on this album. Or in this song too, mostly. But I listened to "Feed the Wolf" on a little tiny speaker, probably like the size of this. We have at work here, and I was playing it. It came on my Spotify, and like this, you could hear the kick. You can feel the click kick, if you will, from holy shit. They really bust their ass on the sound of that kick in the song. Because you can hear in other speakers, but in that little tiny speaker, which is a very good speaker, it blew out of the water, man. And the guitars in the song sound massive as well. I read an article that Ben said that for the most part, a lot of these tracks, they only really have about 4 rhythm tracks and then the lead. But it sounds like it's like 8 tracked, if you will. It just sounds huge, and they said it sounds just a little bit of layering, but it wasn't anything huge. And you can really hear it in the chorus when it kicks in. It just sounds massive. And then you get to that, I think it's a B flat major, if you will. I forget which chord it is, but I'm curious. I forget which one it is. I don't know which chord it is. There's D sharp. They did that inverted chord there they have in that chorus. As a guitarist, man, that just sounds awesome. And then you get the breakdown. And some other interview on YouTube. I'm sorry I forget your name here, bud, but if you watch this, I'm kind of saying from your point of view here. But it's the breakdown sound like more of a wolf tribe, like march, if you will. It just sounds awesome. It just sounds so cool. And then it leads right back to the chorus, and then we get the little outro, and then it leads to Red Cold River, which I'll dive into next, man. But We Feed the Wolf is man, that was hooked to the song for a very long time. I blasted my car forever, man. One of my favorite songs in the album, hands down. Next song is Red Cold River, which is the lead single for the Ember album. And when I first heard the song, I didn't hear it initially when it first came out. The first time when I heard the song was when the video was released, the day of. And I heard the intro of which is Days Are Born. I thought, all right, where are we going here? Sounds a little different. Sounds very, very haunting. And then you just dive into the snare crack, and it's just the screams and the red cold rivers. And man, it's just like you just go, oh my god! You just want to shake your head and just fucking get down with it, man. I mean, that's every time I get to that part, I just crank it up as loud as I can, man. So that was really just a very good way to dive into the next part of the song. It fits, but it was almost unexpected at the same time here too. And then you dive into the chorus, where you have it's in B flat minor, but when they get to the chords, it's B flat minor, and then you go minor second up. So it's kind of like that harmonic. It's almost in a harmonic minor key, if you will. But it's very haunting, and it complements the melody and the lyrics so well. But the chorus to me sounds haunting. It sounds very, very haunting. I think, like I said, it was the minor seconds. You don't really hear minor seconds from the root. You don't hear from the root from the minor second at all. Hardly ever. But it fit the theme. It fit the video too. It was haunting, and it captured my heart, and it captured my whole body, and I loved it, man. When they get to the part, I think it was basically the breakdown, I believe, or the bridge. Is the bridge. When they get to the bridge, and they start singing "Try to Find a Reason to Live," man, for that line for me, that hit home a little bit. I love that line. I love that line so much that at one point, I, honest to God, thought about getting that part tattooed on my body somewhere, or just the Red Coal River initials or something. That's one of my favorite lines. This whole album. It's one of my favorite lines ever. Just simple lines. It's like not even. It's not original. A million people have probably said it before, but the way it was fit into the song to try to find a reason to live. I mean, it starts off just like one voice, and then we go into the next section, and it's about four voices in there with the beat, and then the next section is just the I would imagine the 16th kick in there, and the guitars running up and down the fretboard here, kind of that minor second harmonic minor again. Um, Man, it just sounds haunting as shit. That's all I can say, man. It just sounds haunting as shit. You can quote that in the comments down here. Say haunted as shit. But it was, man. It was a very haunting song. It's my, I'm not saying it's my favorite, but it definitely, emotionally for me, the song captured it. With the harmonies, the kicks in here and the drums, but really the harmonies in the chorus, man, are really what got to me. It's a very haunting, very spacey song, and it fit the mood and it fit the theme, and it's going to be a classic and Breaking Benjamin for years to come, and I'm sure they'll put it in all their set lists. And it was a song I don't think people really were expecting. I wasn't expecting it, but it's a very good song, and I'm very glad that it came at the time of my life it did to make it such an impact. Next song is Tonikit, which honestly is probably my least favorite on the album. A lot of people probably disagree with me. A lot of people say that Down or even Save Yourself is their least favorite on the album, but I think Tourniquet for me. I'm not really sure why. I don't hate the song by any means, it's my least favorite. But the guitars in here sound, as usual, massive. They just sound massive. You can hear the pans in here. I'm saying it my camera. Fucking A. It reminds me of something I would hear like in an NHL game or NFL game for some reason. I don't know why. I just felt like maybe that song would be good in that, but maybe not. That's just how I felt about it. But it wasn't a bad song by any means, but just my least favorite. I think the reason why it's my least favorite is because it didn't take me to the place when I listen to music, it didn't take me to that inner core that like Red Coal River, Feed the Wolf did, or even Dark of You, which I'll get there soon enough, which is a fan favorite. But it's a kick-ass rock song, man. The guitars sound huge. There are a couple parts, like in the intro, you hear that they kind of lo-fi a little bit. It sounds Middle Eastern again. They have that, and some of the songs here, they have that like Middle Eastern harmonic minor second feel going on in a lot of these songs here. And this is one in the intro. It sounds very Middle Eastern. They lo-fied a little bit of it in the guitars, and then you can hear it within the riff. You can hear it kind of complementing that lo-fi sound as well. And then you can hear the screams in the choruses, which are really cool. And it echoes and it reverberates and kind of carries on over the rest of the chorus while the rest of the song's doing something. That was really cool. But just me, man, it personally, it didn't hit me musically and emotionally like all the other songs this album did. But it doesn't mean it's a bad song. I do like it, don't hate it. It just didn't hit me like all the other songs the album do. But for the most part, man, it's a pretty good song. Like I said, you can hear the guitars and you very clearly you can tell they panned the hell of them and then kind of did like pan them 100% and then like maybe like another 50%, if you will. So man, it's one of my favorite songs to listen to guitar-wise because the way the guitars sound, the way they you can hear the pull-offs and hammer-ons in that opening intro there. So yeah, that's what I really like about this song here. It's really only that, to be honest with you, but good song. Not one of my favorite Baker Benjamin songs, but still a kick-ass song. Psycho was one of the songs that was released before the album dropped, and it made a huge splash, I believe, in the YouTube community when it dropped it on YouTube. I listened to it, and at first, I thought I don't really like it. I just never gave it a chance, I guess. But like I listened like the intro, and I thought, same old, same old. And then for some reason, I just didn't listen to it. And then I finally listened to it, and I was like, holy shit, is this not a barn burner of a song, man? The one thing I did like about this song so much is that you can hear the classic Breaking Benjamin in the song. You can relate this song um, to a lot of Breaking Benjamin songs. It just fits with the Breaking Benjamin song, if you know what I mean here. They do a lot, like, it kind of reminded me of Failure, if you will. Except Failure, I believe, is in a 3 count, 3/4, and I believe this is in a 4/4. I think, thinking about it now. But it had the same recipe, if you will. It's like they dissected Failure and just kind of wrote on top of this, but twisted around a little bit. But my favorite line, I think, in the whole entire album is in the chorus, which is, "In the cold, eternal light, I am the ember fading." And then right there is the album title, it's Ember. Obviously is, you have the eye and the ember, and then just kind of have that, like, it goes well way in depth here. How in the cold, eternal light, I am the ember fading. That's so fucking deep. It's so deep, man. I have chills every time I hear that. And when he says fading, he kind of screams, cleans in it, if you will. And it just like grabs your attention, because you can tell when Ben sings that there's a lot of emotion behind that. And he does it live too. I look at a couple live clips of Psycho, and he does that too. It's hard to do that, man. As a musician who went to school for vocal for a long time, that's hard to do. And he does it live and in the studio. I think he does it live. I think he does it better live than he does in the studio version, to be honest with you. But diving into the intro, a lot of people sound like Walk from Pantera, and it really did. It kind of had that similarity. But if you listen to Close Your Eyes, it sounds like Walk again, but sped up about like ×5, if you will. But anyways, I think one of my favorite things about this song is the guitar intros, man. It sounds very tribal, if you will. That's kind of the vibe I got. And then it slows down into the verses, and the backbeats behind the drums going with the guitars, man, just sounds gnarly. Sounds awesome. And then they kind of, I don't want to say speed up, but then it gets more. There's more of a presence musically when they hit the chorus. I can hear the guitars very clearly. I can hear the lead in there, those high notes there. When you can hear Ben say, "I'm the ember fading," you can hear the lows in it. The lows in the melody. You notice this in a lot of Breaking Benjamin songs. You have the melody, and then you have Ben sing underneath the melody, just the octave below, and you can hear it complementing it, and it just brings it out. And one of my favorite aspects about Breaking Benjamin is how Ben just complements his own voice with the underlays of the like an octave below with the lower register there. So and then when you get to the first part, when I say Psycho, it's just like a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then you get the second part later on down there, just dude, that's just like just mind blown, man. I was just like, dude, that sounds so awesome. And then the guitar solo in there is kick ass too, just kick ass. You gotta tell Mark to call me. Hello.
Hello, my name is Lisa, and I'm calling on behalf of the. All right. Well, I thank you for your time today, Mr. Karg, and we appreciate feedback, and have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye. Freaking. I think I just got someone a promotion. I signed up for something else from Walmart, so the lady was peer pressuring me, but I didn't believe it. So, anyways, welcome to my life. Anyways, man, Psycho is one of those kick-ass songs where people will carry the Breaking Benjamin. If there's our greatest hits, I think people will carry that as one of the greatest hits, hands down. The Dark of You, man. Well, it's not called The Dark of You, man. It's just called The Dark of You. Next, we have The Dark of You. And when I first heard this song, I immediately thought they're trying to. Well, Brand was trying to I guess captured that spiritual, out of this world, out of this realm, captured that the Ashes of Eden had. But I think with this song, they did it times 100 and it worked. Um, just the opening piano that on that F, and then it dives into the D minor there. Um, but the piano is very subtle in the back, and then the whole chord structures with this, I want to say, I use like low strings and space. It just fits, and then you hear Ben singing, and then you hear him sing, and then you have an octave higher, which complements his voice very well here. The one thing I do not like about this song actually is that you can hear all the, you can, I don't like that. I don't like any song. So anytime I listen to a song on even mainstream radio and you hear it, just for some reason it just bothers me. I think you can hear the realness in that, I guess, and that happens, but to me it doesn't sound very flattering. I actually am not a fan of that. But lyrically, man, the opening song, it must have been inside my head. That like anyone who has any type of, I don't want to say mental illness, but anyone who their worst enemy is their mind, and they hear that, you're just like captured. It just captures you, man. And the chorus is "Fade away to the wicked world we left, and I become the dark of you." Um, in this song, people think that line um, represents the whole song in a way where when we all leave this earth, what are we leaving it as? Are we leaving it in a good shape? Or are we leaving it in a bad shape? And then you can kind of hear at the end of it where Ben says, "Save this selfish world," meaning that before we leave, we need to make sure that this world is a good world to live in. That's why I kind of take from it. I think other people think I could be completely wrong, which I could be, but that's how I predict the song, or that's how I think of it in my head here. But the choruses, man, you can hear about five harmonies in there. And then you have the special special appearance from that Derek Hugh, I believe his last name is. You can hear him singing those middles. I think he might be singing like on a fifth there. But he's singing those middle parts while Ben's singing. He's singing those middle parts while Ben's singing the octave below the melody and then the high part. Um, it just complements it all, man. It really brings out the vocal meaning, and it just takes you a different place, man. Spiritually, I can feel it. It brings me goosebumps, man. It brings me goosebumps every time I listen to this song. Next song is Down. It started playing over Dark of You, playing along the album as I go here. But the next song is Down, and the intro, it kind of just flows in from Dark of You. You have rock, 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 and then you get Dark of You, and then the beginning of Down. You still kind of get the Dark of You feel, and then back to rock again. So it was kind of a good intro to lead into the song. And if there was a riff I didn't like in the album, it was this one. I don't know, it just sounded simple. It sounded kind of plain, I guess. Not bad. It's not bad by any means. It just sounded simple. Sounded kind of plain. But when you get to the verses, one thing I do know, if you hear this in Down and you hear this in Close Your Eyes, Ben's voice is brought up very up front, and you can hear that very distinguished, very recognizable Ben Burnley sound, voice, if you will. It sounds just, you can hear the raw of Ben Burnley's voice, and it sounds awesome. And then you get the chorus, and then that chorus melody is used in a lot of different songs. It's actually used in a lot of church songs. I actually went to Catholic school for a very long time, and we played that melody. Is used a lot, to be honest with you, but it's not a bad thing by any means here. But it fits this rock song, if you will, metal song. It's one of my favorite songs. It's in a 3/4, which is one of the rarities of Breaking Benjamin. This is not in a 4/4; it's in a 3/4. So it's really cool to see that, because it's really cool to see not just a 4/4 typical type song. Sometimes people do 6/8 in rock. 3/4 is a little more rare nowadays. I think I hardly ever hear it anymore, but this is really cool to hear in a rock song and it work. Um, Lyrically, I think the song is about breaking away from your. I think it's about breaking away the negative in your life and around you. Um, that's how I take away from it. But overall, man, it was just a kick-ass song. It's one of my favorites on the album. I played this song over and over. It's one of the songs like Feed the Wolf I played over and over again, and it's just a very good song overall. Next, we have the second single so far as of recording this on October 25th. We have Torn in Two, and this song right up there, Feed the Wolf, was my favorites here. One of the reasons why I like this song a lot is again the vocal structure, the way it was recorded and layered. You can hear in the verse that Ben's singing the melody, and then there's a high part there, and then you dive into the pre-bridge, I guess, or the pre-chorus. You hear, Ben still singing the melody, and then you hear have the underlay of the lower harmony, and then and then they both high harmony, both low harmony carry in to the verses. I'm sorry, the chorus rather. And then you hear that low harmony in there, the low vocal. That really brings out. Some reason I don't know why, but anytime there's a song like that, I recognize it immediately, and I recognize it in this song immediately too, which is unbelievable. I recognize that the low harmony immediately, and I'm not really sure why I recognize that in songs, but I recognize it in this one. And if you type in YouTube after this video here, and then type in Torn in Two, like acapella or vocals only, you'll hear what I'm talking about, and it's just so eargasmic, if you will. The riff in here was awesome. It was my favorite riffs on the whole album, and it was. I think the song was released on the day. I think the video was released the day the album dropped, if I remember correctly. Because I remember coming home from work one night. It was midnight. The whole album dropped, and the video dropped at the same time, which was really cool. But Torn in Two, at the end of it, it slows down. You still have that high crashing beat the whole song, and then you have the breakdown, which is really cool. Actually, someone told me that the breakdown of that song was sexy, if you will. I didn't say that. I didn't say it. But someone said that to me, and I thought, that's kind of. I was like, that's weird. But I thought, that's actually kind of true. It is. And then you dive into the ending chorus there, and it just slows down. And then you can hear Ben sing "Please Hold On" with the two harmonies there again, and it all just kind of collides. Listen to that with vocals only, man. It just sounds awesome. It sounds haunting. And then you get to the end of the song, where you kind of that Morgan Schmore shit. I don't know what it's called. You gotta get that morph there, and it leads into, it says "Hold On." And Ben said in the interview that there are a couple instances in the album where it's just not just him singing the melody and the leads, it's some of the band members too. And if you go listen to that part with vocals only on YouTube, that's one of those parts. I don't think Ben's in there at all. If he is, he's singing the harmony, but he's definitely not singing the melody in that song by any means. This song actually has some sort of significant meaning to me. This around the time, this whole album and songs came out, the whole album, I think it's why I'm so emotionally attached to the song and this whole album, is because the point in my life, it was up and down, and then I just listened to the song as an escape, and this song really put me into that realm of just escape from reality, and it drug me to a place where I didn't really want to leave, to be honest with you. It just felt calm and relaxed. And that's what this song did for me. It's one of my favorite songs that Breaking Band has ever done. Track number 9 was Blood. And this song, it's a kicker. It's a kick-ass song, kind of upbeat, kind of happier song, if you will. It's one of those songs where you guys kind of feel happy listening to it. I get that from any other song, but you feel happy listening to it. It's kind of upbeat, happy rock song. That's the kind I got from it. But I am actually proud to say that I was the first person on YouTube to cover this song on guitar. and I believe to cover in any type of instruments, if you will. So I was really proud to say that was the first song here. It came out at midnight, and then sometime in February of this year, and it came out at midnight, and I had the thing tracked, recorded, and processed and done by 3 a.m. It was not a very hard song to play. There are a couple parts in there were kind of tricky, but it's really just a good song to listen to. I really like how the drums and the guitar complement each other in the chorus, if you will. Just the dun 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 dun, like, I mean, it just sounds cool, you know. It's very choppy, but it just fits, and it fits the melody because the melody is just continuously. And then you hear in the chorus as well, you hear a bunch of vocals that Ben does, and you know, for the most part, man, I liked it because I think I liked it. I think I was kind of emotionally attached to it again for a little bit because it was one of the first singles we dropped, and I was just excited for the album. And every time I listen to it, it reminds me of when I first recorded it, and it just reminds me that you know, you can take a rock song, kind of make it like sound dark but have at the same time, if you will. So that's what I get from this song, to be honest with you. But overall, man, it's just a kick-ass, happy little rock song. Next song is "Save Yourself." This song is a little darker. I don't think it's quite as emotionally capturing as Dark of You, but this song clearly, you know what the song means. What I take away from it is that this person is planning their own death, and you know, as I leave this world tonight and I see the sunrise, you know, it's just sad. I think it's about someone trying to predict their own death, and then act on their own death, if you will. Here, so it's a pretty sad song. But for the most part, musically, it's a very good song. It's one of the songs where I was kind of mind blown by Ben's vocals. He sings a high B flat, which in a male voice, it's hard to sing that. And then he goes a little higher, but it's in falsetto, and it just captures you, man. When you listen to it, and you go, "So save yourself," and then he goes a little higher, but it's falsetto, and then he goes back down to like the screaming of, not say scream, but the high vocal of the B flat there, and it's very hard to do that. And then at the end of it, you just get that dun 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 dun. It just, I don't know, man. Who thinks of this? Obviously, Ben Burnley and Breaking Benjamin do, but that was my favorite part of the whole album, was right there. And then during the breakdown, if you will, the guitars kind of like do this, again, minor second type feel of like on the G string and the D string, and then you hear that again towards the end of the outro, and then over it you get that dun 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 dun, dun whatever. It just sounds really cool with it, man. You don't hear very a lot in today's music, and you don't hear a lot from Breaking Benjamin. But it's one of the songs where if I had to pick a song what musically I like the drums and the guitars working together, it's probably the chorus here, man. So far, man, this song I don't think it had like emotional impact on me as it did for other people, man, but it's definitely a ear-grabbing song. Almost done. Not the last song on the album, but it's the last full-length song on the album, is "Close Your Eyes." And this song definitely just reminds you of Breaking Benjamin himself. You know, the chorus, you know, it says, "Take away the dark inside and lead me to the light." That's definitely a Breaking Benjamin type lyric right there. You can listen to that. There, it kind of reminds me of "I Will Go On Till the End" from the Phobia album. I got that kind of type feel. So I think in this song, they really went back down to their own roots in this song. But like I said earlier, the intro reminds me of a faster opening version of "Walk." That's what a lot of people are saying about this song and "Psycho." And then it's one of the songs, like I said earlier again, where Ben's voice is pushed up front, and you can hear the very raw, unique voice of Ben Burnley in this song. And then it kind of picks up a little bit in the pre-chorus, just with a little light electric guitars, and then you hit the chorus and it slows down, and you get these massive guitar sounds, and then the harmony underneath it is really what captures the whole song, man. It really complements the song, and the melody line for what Ben sings here, man. And then the breakdown, I guess, is kind of like a siren, if you will. Just me personally, I wasn't a fan of the siren. I'm actually not a huge fan of sirens, but I feel like they could have done something there. In my cover, I actually put my own solo in there because I thought that some sort of solo, like in Psycho, could have worked. I wasn't a big fan of it. I know Baker mentioned a lot of shredding guitar band, but the guitarist can shred. If you listen to Psycho on there, man, he definitely can. I just feel like a guitar solo could have been using the song in that part instead of a siren. And then when you get to the last chorus of it, instead of hitting that C minor chord, they went to the major and just hit E flat instead, and then they go back to the C minor. And then you get the outro, and then you get the lead into Vega. Vega kind of sounds like a tribal, another song, if you will. Just a dun 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 dun, and I put my own version on it. I honestly just kind of just did the mocking of the dun 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 dun. I just thought I just brought the guitars up a little bit, but for the most part, man, it kind of left you wondering if you're gonna get more after that. It's just like, and then you can hear the toms just kind of fade out, and you're kind of wondering if you can get more. But it also kind of leaves you the fact with, holy shit, I can't wait for the next part, if you want. There's no next part. So it was a very good way to end the album. I'm a huge fan of songs and albums, and the end of an album that kind of just leave you kind of like breathtaking, kind of like wow. And this one definitely was, man. So there you have it. There's the review of the Ember album. Personally, this was probably my favorite album in 2018 coming out. And it's hard for me to say that because I'm a Bullet fan for sure, and they released an album just a couple months after Ember came out, which I will review Gravity here next, if you can tell down at the bottom there. But it's my favorite albums I think ever, to be honest. Definitely 100% my favorite Breaking Benjamin album. And I think one of the things that when I think about this album, I think of all the different aspects. You get a lot of different music aspects, and you get the hard rock, you get the metal drum kicks, if you will, I guess, like the beats of it, and then you get like this choir type harmonies in this album, and it's all combined into one. And you don't get that very often, man. And somehow Breaking Benjamin and Ben Burley, they capture that so well in this song. I'm sorry, in this whole album. And props to them. If I had to give the song a rating out of 10, I give it 10 out of 10, man, hands down. There was not one bad song on here. There wasn't one bad moment in this whole album. Definitely 110% my favorite album of 2018, and I cannot wait for the next Breaking Benjamin album to come out. It probably won't come out until 2020 or 2021 at this point. They look like they were going every 3 years making an album, which is kind of like an average now for most bands, every 2.5, 3 years. So I cannot wait for the next album to come out. So far, I love this. I saw Breaking Benjamin in January, but they didn't have any of the singles yet for Ember released. So I'm disappointed to get to see any of the songs played live. But for the most part, man, they kick ass live, and anytime they play these songs live, they kick ass and then as well here. That's gonna be it for me, guys. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like the channel if you'd like to. Please be a member of my Patreon if you will, if you'd like to as well. And then I'll catch you guys for the next album review, which is Gravity. Thanks for listening, and take care.